Hello. My camera's over here now. I like looked here and I was like, wait, that's wrong. Hi everybody. I think I you know what? Look at this beautiful new overlay that
Oh,
Galway
yeah.
made for us, and then I attempted to size Windows 4. It worked a little bit. I might play with it more, but for now it's just so beautiful, Galway. Thank you so much. Um
I love Queen of Excess. That's
yes.
just so good.
Yes.
I know, it's like
Oh,
super
nice.
extra.
Nice.
yes. We were very excited about it, Ava. It was hard for me not to like tell you it was going to happen, but I'm really glad that you got to like see it and react on screen because Galway
So
was like,
good.
"Do you think Ava would want pink glitter or gold glitter?" I'm like, "Pink glitter. Give her
Yes.
pink glitter."
Yes.
So I was really happy. Yes, all of these things just so good. Anyway, hooray! Look at this. Doesn't this look beautiful?
Amazing.
Yes. Oh, and we this is not our only exciting stream surprise for you today, because in another exciting stream surprise, we do have um a brand new trailer with music composed by our very own Sam Winnie. What? Just like this way.
Wow. Yay.
Um, and also the whole thing was put together by Sam. So thank you so much, Sam, for that hard work. I love this song. It is just so cool. So I can't wait to share it with you. Um, yes, Chelsea, thank you for pointing that. Yes, we will do the trailer first, and then I'm so hype to show this to you. So I'm going to mute the rest of the audio. So players will be silent during, you can talk, but you won't be heard on stream. And then I'm going to switch it to the intro. And then when it's all done, we'll come back. I'm so excited. Okay, here we go.
Amazing.
Oh, so
That
good.
music was so perfect.
Thank you.
That was fantastic.
Okay. I think we're back. I'm sorry. I did switch it and like some of the, but like, let's just one more time. Can we just hype for Sam? Because oh my God,
Amazing.
That was awesome.
oh my God. Thank you,
It was
everybody.
beautiful.
Oh, look. Okay. I love it so much. I have listened to this song over and over because Sam, it just like, it just these headphones with it and everything, and like the volume off, and I'm just like, oh, I feel it. So I love what you did. Thank you so much. Does
Yay.
somebody want to read Chelsea's poem for us?
I'm always down, but if somebody else wants to do it, I'm keen to let them go because I did it last time. Okay, I'll do it.
All right, go. Go.
Okay, let's try this one more time. All tonight's dice will roll sublime. And one more wish I must assign by the small gods and the mighty Elise. Ralco will live and everything will be fine. Insert nervous laughter. Sending energy And best vibes to the group on their mission, and a standing ovation to Sam on his beautiful composition. As always, thank you, Spire crew, for all that you do. Much love. I can see and hear you.
Oh, beautiful. Oh my
Yay.
gosh. So
How
much.
did she know it was going to be a beautiful composition
I don't
beforehand?
know.
Well,
Can
it's
she see into the future?
It's the
reliable
power of
talent.
poetry.
Reliable talent. You're a
Oh,
level
there you go, there you go.
13 rogue or whatever. You just
I always knew
always
Chelsea was a rogue.
um oh my gosh, I just can't get over how talented we all are. I'm so proud of all of you, and so grateful for everything you do, from Chelsea making us poems to Sam composing us beautiful music and making a wonderful intro trailer, and Galway for the wonderful overlays for the new stream setup. So there's just so much amazing stuff in this group, and I am just thrilled to be here with you. Okay, with that done, we've got so much to do as stream gets started. So, is there Chelsea? Chelsea, you're not Chelsea. You're Rachel. Rachel, is there something you wanted to share with the group, or
Video that Sarah posted in Discord right now. That
I posted that before we started streaming, just so you know. I wasn't trying to mess
So
anything up.
good.
now, and
Okay.
it's so fucking good. I'm sorry.
It's
It's
amazing.
exactly true and correct, Sarah. Sorry.
Okay, so with that said, let's start with stress from everybody. Let's see here. I have Alvi. How much stress you got?
1,000 or 0.
Okay. Din,
0.
Chu,
2.
Edik.
1.
What's it to?
Sorry, 1 sec.
Okay.
It is 2
Sad.
blood stress.
Okay. Had you at 2, so why we do this? Rauka?
I
mean, we did
so,
erase 7, right? From the
we did erase 7, which is going to put me at. Oh, nope, that's not how I want to do that. I don't want to still have like 6 stress because no, it's not going to be good. Can I get back to you in a second while I
Yes.
reallocate this?
Absolutely.
Thank
okay.
you.
And then Sam and Rachel, what knacks are you taking this game?
I always go first, and I have no idea. So, Rachel,
You
if you
sure
have
do.
any idea.
How about I do sneaking in the shadows?
Sneaking in shadows. All
That was
right.
what I did the previous session before the
times
previous
ago,
session.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just do a little switcheroo and it'll be fine, and I don't have to think or be creative.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yay.
And I will do a knack in fight. If like I'm gonna basically do like stealth, what's the one sneak attack. So like if they don't know that I'm attacking them, I get an additional dice on that.
Well, okay, I see what you're saying. Yes. So like if you are hidden from them, or
If I'm
otherwise
surprising them with a
With
a
an
crossbow
attack.
bolt, yeah.
Okay. Then you can roll with the mastery d10. Got it. Okay. Very good. Rauka, did you decide on your stress distribution?
Yes. So I'm gonna be at 4 stress.
Mhm.
It's gonna be 2 to mind and 2 to reputation.
2 to mind and 2.
Yes.
Okay, you got it.
I have a question.
I might have an answer.
I am both an idle and the deep class. Do I get refreshes from both?
Yes, you do.
Pretty cool. Thanks.
Yes, and don't forget, everybody, keep track of what your refreshes are. Use them. As we know, high levels of stress, bad. Oh no, I just dropped all of these papers. Ugh, it's okay. Hey, I'm back.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Would you consider what we did last session with getting information out of the morticians to be uncovering hidden information?
Yes.
Then you can mark me at 0 stress because that's one of my refreshes, and
Okay.
I only had one. So
Is that a sage refresh?
I think
Yes,
it's a
it
sage
is.
refresh. Yeah.
So can I refresh as well? Oh, I don't fucking need to. Wait, but I have a.
If you have stuff marked against your resistances, go ahead and
I
use
do.
Oh,
I
okay.
have
Then yeah,
one.
I should do that.
I just
So
have one shadow resistance right now. So sweet.
so is
I'm
that it?
fully zero.
What do I roll for that? A D3?
Yeah, that'll be a D3 because and you can both roll, like it won't be the same. So if you both want to roll a D3 real quick, and I don't know if you how many resistance slots you had marked.
I got 2, so I can remove 1 stress. So put me at 0. And
Rachel, are you gonna roll, or did you only have one?
I only had one.
Oh, okay. I was like waiting for you to roll. I'm just sitting.
Sorry, no,
Okay.
I just had the one resistance. That
You're
was
good.
it.
You're good. Okay. Great. Then, besides that, I think the only other thing before we get started with the recap was I wanted to mention just other helpful goat stuff, right?
advances.
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 Hey. So wait, let's start with the other helpful goat stuff, and then we'll do advances, and then we'll do a recap. Tomorrow we've got Tier Moon Trial with no spoilers from Elise this week. All I can say is I'm so excited for tomorrow's game. So I hope you tune in. We're playing at 7 Mountain Time, which is 9 Eastern Time. Right here on twitch.tv/helpfulgoat. Smash that like and subscribe button. Okay, and then next week we've got Goats of Saltmarsh on Wednesday with Rachel at 7 Mountain Time, 9 Eastern Time.
Last week we had a delusional god king frog. Next week, who knows?
Spoilers, God. And then on Thursday we've got Spire again because we just keep coming at ya. And then on Friday next week is Fates of Rin at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope to see you there, spoiler free, because I don't know. Okay, with that done, let's hear. Everybody took a medium advance. So exciting. I would love to hear you tell everybody what your medium advance is. We're totally going to do the thing where we point at each other, so you're going to have to guess where people are. I'm going to start with Ava.
Cool. Okay. So my medium advance that I took is Truth. It's divine magic from the Hunger of the Deep subclass, and it says, you speak the nightmare truth of Spire in dark, chattering syllables. Mark D3 stress to mind and gesture at someone within earshot while chattering in strange tongues. You communicate to them the full majesty of the decay that sits within the heart of Spire. Everyone else who hears you marks 1 mind stress. The target suffers D6 stress or a D8 stress if you're right up in their face when you talk to them. So,
Nice.
Yep.
You have to pass it off to someone.
Oh,
by
right.
pointing,
I
hopefully accurately.
choose.
If you point downwards, it's Sam. And that's easy.
I choose Sarah. Did I do that right?
Yes,
so.
you did.
Okay.
All right. Are you like going? Oh, like down.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you fixed it. Yes, you did.
This way.
Okay. I saw to the side and I was like, that's Elise. So I chose Mask of the Lover. You wear an exquisitely beautiful mask, gifted only to those who carry themselves with the utmost grace and poise. I can't even say it because I don't know about that. +2 reputation. Once per session, if you so choose, an NPC falls for you. Tell the GM who. So I'm excited for this because it is somewhat, and by somewhat I mean extremely out of character for Din to want attention. But I'm hoping it leads to some good scenarios. And I'm going to pass it to. Does it invert it?
It's
Only
it's
on
the
your screen.
reverse.
You yourself is
You
reversed.
are
Everybody
currently
else
pointing
is
at Tyler on the stream.
Tyler. I had to wait for the other thing to catch up.
Great. So yeah, Rauka went with a lovely little advance called Torrent. You learn the secret of animating the blood of another, turning it against them. Mark a d6 stress to cast this spell, which that's gonna be a thing when it happens, if it happens. For the rest of the current situation, you can pluck out the blood of a living target through their nose, eyes, and mouth simply by gesturing at them. The gesture functions as a d6 devastating and ranged weapon. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing that I hope I can use to aid in my escape. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm gonna go, I think, up to Rachel. Am I right? Awesome.
That'd be really weird if you pointed up and I was somehow over there. I took pattern theory, which is one of my B-filled ones. You analyze the movements of crowds, the pulse of galvanic energy in brains, the rhythm of heartbeats. It's all part of one perfect system. Once per session, when the GM asks you to mark stress as part of a roll, declare that you're using this power. Instead of marking stress, rewind time to the point just before you rolled the dice. What happened all took place in your head as you extrapolated out the situation from known parameters. You can't repeat the same roll that you just made if you do. So I could basically just be like, no, I was just imagining that. Here's what actually happened. And I'm really excited to do
Beautiful.
that. And
That's
then,
awesome.
yeah, I was so excited when I read that. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to be like, no, that was just like me, freezing time and being like, what if? And having all those calculations go in front of my face, like that meme. Then I'm going to point this way and down to get
The other
around the
way and
world to
down.
Sam.
Oh, I see. I see what
No,
you're
wait,
doing.
no, I'm going
You're
this
doing a
way.
wraparound. You're doing a wrap.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's doing a wraparound and then down.
Yeah.
It's doing a wraparound. I like to do the reach around for Sam. So Sam.
Yeah. Thanks. So I went with the advance that is dynastic memory. You awaken the ancestral blood in your allies. So I mark D3 stress to mind whenever I activate this, but I use my mind to channel the power of the ancient houses of the home nations and give my allies strength. The first time I use this power on a character, determine which house they originate from by choosing it from the list that's on a page of the book. And then from then on, when you use this power on them, they gain access to the relevant power for the remaining of the situation. This, however, only works on dark elves. So I'm very much hoping that Tyler's character is also a dark elf. But
Was were you done?
yeah, and I'm not going to bother, but there's like 10 or so different houses, and each of them bestows a different unique ability. And those will all be determined whenever I cast the spell on the party for the first time.
Excellent. Okay, is that everybody's medium advance? Yay! Okay, I'm excited. These feel so overpowered, and I know like it's a medium advance. That's how it is. But it's just like it's always funny to me. New abilities. I'm like, really? You can just do that? All right, fine. All right. So, am I missing anything else before we do the recap? Okay, let's speed run this recap. Get into it. What happened last game.
I actually wrote notes in the beginning part and then stopped writing them at the end. We met Mara and Halim, I almost said morticians in training. They came to the apartment and were investigating. I just said apartment. What is wrong with me? I'm sorry. They came to the apartment, and they told us we could follow them. All of us, but Rauka and Edek followed because Edek stayed behind a little bit and then followed shortly after. Halim is super cool and everybody's favorite new NPC. That they were then talking to us about the different people who come up to morticians and try and get shit from them. And they mentioned that somebody named the Swan, who is apparently another famous pop star, also comes up to get shit. And then we all freaked out because the Swan is the name the serial killer gave. But they didn't seem to associate it with that. So I think we tried to keep it on the down low. And Halim admitted that he knew that some morticians are bad and they're kind of trying to figure out who. And we were given the name Thean? I wrote it Thean. Okay. That they are the one that are contacts with the Swan. So we were going to possibly try and talk to them. And that's about all I wrote.
I remember that Halim is a baby.
Elsewhere, Rauka decided he was gonna try and do some recon. Climbed into a ice box that was meant for dismembered limbs and other oddities, and then was taken on a field trip. And was taken to a warehouse of sorts and somehow successfully convinced two gnolls that he was the new supervisor. But luck ran out when the was she a drow from last session that had met the other part? Yeah, so I was caught by the woman who had the demonic resonator device, and I was hauled off to somewhere.
Yes. Was there anything else? Else you wanna mention?
So the mistress knew Rauka by his like birth name,
Yes.
which was
Oh, right, yes, that was another thing that's deeply upsetting for me.
and this person, the mistress's higher up, whoever that is not
it is
Lady
not Zoya. Yeah.
it's not Lady Zoya. I also wrote so the Perch branch of the Black Swan, they deal with hearts is something that I wrote that was important. And let's see, anything else? Back in the house that we were at, the apartment complex that was being used to craft eidolons, there was like I basically did a kind of full-blown investigation of the place, and I learned about the like what kinds of eidolons they were making, the fact that they were trying to figure out ways to like mass produce and expedite the process of eidolon creation. And they're doing really dark stuff. They're making really dark eidolons. And
Can I ask what's the difference between like a regular eidolon and like a really dark eidolon? Like what sets that apart? I don't know if I don't remember that.
In this case, specifically what kind of struck Eddic as dark or different from what Eddic would do is the means by which the eidolons are made are very gruesome, very willing to go to any means, including, you know, not a leap to have chopped up dead bodies in the next room, like given what whereas, people like Eddic and Rauka who metal and demonology stuff probably wouldn't go to the means of like slaughtering a live person, go down to Derelictus and just like kidnap people, slaughter them to do this kind of thing. So the means by which the eidolons are created was particularly like gruesome slash just no sense of boundaries or morals around what's right and wrong to do in order to create these eidolons.
And similar to that, I also know that like eidolons are most effective when they like resonate strongly with whatever demon they're trying to channel. So like certain demons are better at certain things than other ones. Like Byron is really good at making these sort of kaleidoscopic architectural things, whereas other demons do various different things. So yeah.
Yes. Hey, anything else from last session?
I remember I was mean to that one person a lot and I threatened her.
Mara?
But I ended the session wanting to give her a note. And so I'm going to try and do that early on in the session as we leave. Just like stick around and be like, yo, but yeah.
Yeah. So
Do we
yeah.
have
What?
do we have a means by contacting Lukash?
Um you typically Lukash gets in touch with you. And certainly you don't have the means of contacting Lukash from New Heaven. It would be something that if you are much more used to Perch. This is yeah. So in Perch, it's not too hard to get in contact with Lukash. Up here, it's not like you can find link to him or them or anything. So
Mm.
okay. All right. So we are starting with the group at the Morticians. Mara and Halim have wrapped up kind of telling you what they know about what's going on with the Morticians and Father Collis and this kind of interest in um, hunting down or kind of purging out the rotten core, not core necessarily, but like parts of the Morticians, as well as, you kind of caught up or kind of caught on to some of Mara's ambitions to kind of rise in the ranks of the Morticians. So with that, you head, well, yeah, what do you do? I mean, Mara and Halim have given you the kind of directions of like how you would go about finding Theon. Um, and I don't know. I think that's about where we left off, giving you guys a chance to wrap anything up you might want to wrap up with Mara and Halim, or you would set out to find um, the mortician Theon, who I've been told would have more information. Also, for anyone wondering, Lukash is the Magister, which is the kind of this unit of people that this group is. They are ministers or people who belong to that group, the ministry, and then Lukash would be their Magister, which is like the person who oversees this unit. Um, except Eddic. Eddic is not a minister. Eddic is a consultant, we'll say, case by case. Anyway, so yes, just to kind of remind everybody who Lukash is. It's been many a session since you've seen. Okay, so
Are
Mara and
we it's
Halim
still
have.
in the room? Oh, sorry.
Yep. Yep. They're kind of, but they're definitely like they're packing up their notes and like making to the doors to show you, kind of point you in the direction of where you can find Theon.
I'll snag like a piece of paper kind of like towards the end of the discussion and I'll just kind of have been like scribbling this whole time if I can like add that in there.
Okay.
Do we want to discuss ahead of time what we would say to Theon before we find them, or is there like a quiet nook in which we could discuss things?
Plan is always smart to have.
Mara is like, I mean, nobody else is gonna use like this room, so at least not for a little while. There's still a little bit of time before the next class starts in here, so you could, I guess. I mean, like someone might come in, but it's kind of unlikely. You could stay here.
Mara, I know you do not like this Dian person, but could you speculate on what he might want, what he might like, what he might desire?
Like I was kind of saying before, he's like really obsessed with the swan and like fame. Which like I don't know why you become a mortician if you want to be famous as an individual. Maybe he does, I don't know. But like that's kind of his thing is like he just always kind of it's gross honestly, but like wants to be around like famous people and like always like um
Oh no! She was like dying in the background a little bit. She's like, oh god.
yeah, this is Mara's disdain for fame has been made clear. Not, not
Yeah.
ambition. I think she and she would get along greatly if shared ambitions were shared. But no, she's like, but like that's kind of his whole thing is he's just like he'll do anything to like be close to people he thinks are cool.
Hmm.
Well, at least
Well,
we have an in.
yeah, I feel like this is our only uh, chip that we have to get information from him.
Just remember, like, don't mention me or Halim like you didn't hear it from us. And
Who
we
are
didn't.
you?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't see you. You didn't see us. It's a whole thing, okay? Listen, we've got to run because people are gonna start wondering why we're not at our shift at the gates. So I'm gonna go. But if one of you just wants to poke your head out with me, I'll point you in the right direction to get to Thea.
Yeah, I'll go. And Chu will like step out real quick before anyone can say anything.
Okay. Um, Yeah, so she'll be like, okay, so if you go to, and she'll just kind of give you some directions and be like, so the part that you're gonna get to is still like in the public area, but it's like not really where initiates like me go. It's like where full um morticians are. You might have to ask for Thean at the desk though, because he doesn't always like come out, so just keep that in mind. But like it's kind of normal for some people, especially like if you look like you're rich, to ask for a specific mortician. Um, and so it's not like that weird if you were like to ask her ever.
Of course, yeah. And hey, before you go, I know I kind of gave you a lot of crap, but I think after speaking with you for a bit, it may be in our best interest to maybe at least have an acquaintance with each other should you ever need anything. I know that you're aiming for high places, and I would much rather have somebody respectable in a position like a lead mortician. So here, and I hand both of them a hastily scrambled backstage pass with like a Chew signature on it. And I'm like, if you ever need anything from me, I don't know how long I'll be in Perch, but wherever I'm at, I tend to have a foothold, some money, and I can be very persuasive. So I don't know where your journey will lead you, but this is for helping us.
Yeah, Mara takes hers and Halim. She's a little like when you first show like a backstage pass, she's a little like ugh. But then when you kind of explain like it's not really about like getting close to you, it's about access to you as like an influence, as someone with influence. She kind of like gives you like a look and is like, all right, and she takes it. And Halim takes his and is just like, that's cool, and kind of like pockets it. And
Yeah,
she's
big
like,
guy.
um, look like. That's helpful, and I'm gonna keep this and like if the time ever comes where we can make moves and like we can use your help, it's good to know that other people care about kind of stuff too. That's yeah, and then she'll be like, anyway, like I said, don't associate with me, bye, and like just say
Yeah.
something else.
And I'll turn to Halim and I'll be like, you take care, you big lump. Like, oh my God, you're so cute. Look at this big
Hey,
guy, huh? Huh?
like
And then
I
I'll go back
literally
in the house,
dismember
in
bodies
the
for
room.
a living. Like, okay, um, legally, dismember bodies for. Yeah.
It's-
Okay, so yeah, they head out and you are in the room to plan a little bit. You have a little bit of time before, they didn't give you an exact time frame, but I think last time Mara told you that there was like 1.5 hours or something, and you probably only used like maybe an hour to talk to Mara and Halim, so you probably have max half hour to kind of sit here and stall talking to Thea.
Oh, how do we? I know that we have an in with Chu here. How do we want to? How do we want to go about this? First, why are all of us here with Chu? What is it exactly that we're doing? And I'm a little bit nervous about saying that we're investigating the death of Chu's friend, because also if this person is friends with the person that killed her, then they might not be as willing to talk to us. So how can we? What are your thoughts on how we can not seem suspicious and still get them to open up?
Chu pulls out her makeup set and starts putting on a glamour targeted towards this guy.
Perhaps Chu has a passion for the macabre.
You could say
I
that
am the
for
queen of
sure.
excess.
Could
We've literally
like
watched
in
her kiss
character voice.
things and they've disintegrated. So
Oh no, that's all not my persona. That's just me.
mhm.
Perhaps I could
Could
put
use
on
your
a
glamour.
concert. Yeah. Well, the glamour will help, but I definitely need a hook. Perhaps I could put on a concert up here, and I could use some help from a very high-level mortician, kind of as like a mortician's concert.
You do remember that just about 15 minutes ago, Mara was expounding on the fact that after Theon's recent um, bad business with the swan, the morticians have a very negative outlook
Oh
on idols right
yeah,
now.
that's right. Well, then maybe I could offer a private show and then set that up. And if I need to extract any more information, I can like half kill this dude and then we can take him.
How good does the like glamour thing work? Like, could you pretend to be someone who, like, a different idol? Is it that good, or is it more like,
No, so the whole thing is once per situation, choose an NPC using a cocktail of charm, practice poise, and semi-legal black magic. You change your appearance to represent their ideal partner. You don't get to determine what it looks like at all. It's entirely reliant on the person that you're targeting, and you can end the spell by scrubbing the makeup off and looking in a mirror for like 5 minutes or something. Whatever your target prefers, you'll always look. I'll always look like me, so I'll always look like Chu, but I'll be like more closely resembling like
To
what
what they
they want.
desire.
Yeah.
Elise, you said that
Hmm?
the morticians across the board have a negative view of idols right now, or just the inner.
Yeah, so like from the top down, right? Like something happened. Mara was talking about like there was kind of a something bad went down between like with Theon and the Swan, this kind of relationship that Theon had built with the Swan, who had been coming to New Heaven somewhat frequently. And Mara said like something happened, and now the morticians are like, don't get involved with those people. As like an organization, there's kind of a rule from like the higher ups, like bad for business getting involved with those idols.
I
So
think
this does not seem like it's something that we could be having Chu extend an olive branch, so to speak, where you are trying to make peace with the morticians via a charity concert. No?
I don't think that would fly over well. I think perhaps what might work better is trying to keep it on the low end, maybe not even mentioning, maybe playing it down and just telling the front desk that I'm here for like official like dead body business. Like I have someone who died and I'm here to check up with this mortician which I've chosen. I don't want to reveal my identity, but like if you have to, then tell like the mortician that I'm Chu, and then that'll be our hook. But we'll downplay the idol, and then when we get to see him, then we can be like, oh, do you want like a private show in exchange for your services? And then when he says yes, we get him in a room and squeeze him for information.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I also still have the ability that I haven't actually used yet, which is I would have to prepare for it now before we go there, but it's Thorned Tongue, which
Yeah.
basically means it physically hurts somebody to lie to me. Like it actually burns behind their eyeballs if they utter an untruth.
I like that.
It has to be to me, so it has to be like it can't be if you ask them a question and they lie. So
Mhm.
I would have to ask specific questions. But and yeah, it says it can't be like a lie of omission, but like actively presenting a falsehood. They take D3 stress every time they do it.
They're little penguins.
Okay. So you're gonna activate that
Well,
ability?
I'll ask: do people feel do people
I
feel
mean,
that this would be
Yeah.
something that's good to get information, or something that would make him distrust us immediately, or do we not care? Do we not care if he distrusts us after the fact?
I think it's okay after the fact because he's already not supposed to be involved with idols, and we know that he's been up to some sus stuff with what's his face. So I think we go to meet with him, downplay everything, and then um, you know, I think if I can get him in a room alone, maybe say like, hey, like if you want like a private show and like return for your like premium services, my like retinue, my like band people will stay outside and I'll give you like a quick private show and then I can like bomb him and then y'all can come in after he's been like injured slightly. And I think and then you can use your like barbed truth thing and ask him questions and interrogate him. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Okay, so I have to roll for it, so I might take stress.
It should be
Uh,
okay.
Right.
I'm at 0, so I roll compel plus occult, which I have both of. So is that 3?
3d10.
While this is happening,
Is a 6 a
Um,
success?
6 is a success at a cost. Yes.
Okay, sorry. Just I rolled a
I'm
1, a 1, and a
Yeah,
6.
it's a good thing that
Uh,
that wasn't a 1, a 1, and a 1. All right.
Golly.
I wouldn't put it past me, so.
So we're gonna roll whatever. Okay, you're gonna take 3 mind stress.
Should I rewind this? No, I wouldn't be able to do it again.
Do you have any resistances to mind?
I believe I do. Let me scroll in my thing. I have 4 resistances to mind, so I
Nice.
take no stress.
All right.
And later on, my bees can whisper in my brain and I can feel all better and I will not have mind stress anymore.
That sounds
Thanks,
fun.
bees.
Yeah, thanks, bees.
Yeah, they can only do mind stress, but I'm like, sure, I'll do things give me mind stress all the time and then just be like, whisper to me, bees.
How much
Whisper to
mind
me.
stress can you get rid of?
I think it's a D6.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a D6 of stress from mind from my reassuring whispers.
Nice.
You don't even have to leave the room then.
Elise,
Yes.
would you define situation as us like starting now up through talking to Thean?
So situations are larger than scenes. So situation is you are at the mortician's capital or whatever. So this has been one situation since last game or since last session. Coming to the mortician's place, hanging with Mara and them, heading over right where and like the
So
scenes.
all of this is
All of this has
singular
been one
situation.
situation, and then these would be scenes within the situation. Yes.
Okay. Well, while we are all here, I would suggest, since it would seem that we are about to go into a risky situation, that so it would help if we had some luck on our side. Um, if you would all come sit around me, I am going to perform a rite on us to learn a little bit about each other and perhaps get some knowledge along the way.
She will like scooch over, but not really like stop applying her makeup like she's in it.
This
Could
is
you
fine.
could you maybe tell me a little bit more about what this means by getting to know each other? I sometimes feel uncomfortable just having people perform rites on me when I don't know exactly what's happening. And I
You
mean, could it
will
hurt the
learn.
bees?
You will
You
learn
have bees in your head. You should be okay.
You will learn two
do.
things. You will learn the house you come from, and you will learn the house all of us come from. And secondly, You will learn what knowledge this bestows upon you in the form of a. Well, it kind of depends on the
Do this
house.
right on me right now. I must know this information immediately.
Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. So, yeah, we're all kind of sitting around, and I kind of envision this to be something of like a tea ceremony, except we don't actually have tea. So we're just kind of sitting and taking our time and breathing,
Just
and I'm
pull out a
probably
bag of holding, just like, oh, here you go.
I'm
Tea.
I'm probably coming around to each of you and like impressing a hand upon like I don't know, a shoulder or something. And I am going to mark D3 stress to mind, and we're going to learn some stuff about each other, friends. All right.
Sounds like we're
Yay!
about to take drugs right now.
Time
Sounds
to
like a company
do
icebreaker.
drugs.
Right? We're gonna learn
That's-
some stuff about each other.
That's
Power
exactly
Tell
what's
building.
me
happening. I
2
rolled a
truths
1.
and a lie.
Yay.
Just
Time
a
to
quick
team
weekend
build.
retreat to learn a little about each other, trust building exercises.
Okay.
Did you say you
So,
rolled
so,
a
so I,
one?
I rolled a 1. Let's
For
just
stress
get
that
it.
he
Stress,
takes.
though.
That's yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
You have
that
this.
You
puts
were like,
me
why is that good?
that puts me at 1 stress, and I get to figure out what all of our houses are. So perhaps I don't know, maybe we want to do this over break, but I don't know how much time we have right now to dive into this. But there are on page 72 of the book, it lists all of the different houses. I mean, I could just kind of pick ones for people if they're okay with that. I had a good idea for Chu and myself. Um, uh, what I was thinking for Chu was Valua, the silver blooded. When you successfully compel a target, you gain a temporary bond with them.
Nice. Like
If
that.
that sounds like something that would work for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to do Malrique, the unlidded eye. I cannot be surprised or ambushed.
What page is this on? In the regular book? I'm sorry.
In the PDF it's 72, but in the on the actual text it says 67.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah. But of course, sorry, Tyler, I don't get to tell you yours because you're not here.
It's okay. Hopefully, gonna work my way back.
Yeah. I maybe Grindel the Crimson Hunters for Din. When you declare a target's full name out loud and they hear it, you roll with mastery on fight and pursue actions against them. You can only do this for 1 target at a time.
Sounds right.
And you have armor, so I'm not going to go with that one. This one also might work for Chu. At the end of the situation, remove all stress marked against reputation.
I like that one a lot for what we're about to do.
Okay, all right. So why don't we give compel? Do you have compel, Alvi?
I have
I do.
oh.
Okay, yeah. So I'll give you the Valua.
I also do really like Duval the Grave Cold, where I can just, if I stand still and focus, nobody can see me.
I like that
If I close
Perfect.
my eyes.
Yeah,
I like
perfect.
the
I
idea
like
of
that
just like
too.
wanting to blend in and being like, don't look at me, don't look at me. If I just close my eyes, they can't see me. That feels
It
very
does
me.
take you a minute to go invisible, though.
So everyone
Right.
knows I just switched it so the view. So if you want to see the other beautiful overlay, I just wanted to show everybody the
Wow.
screenshot.
Hey,
So this is
that
the
looks really
other
good.
beautiful overlay that
So
Galway made,
fancy.
and I was just
Gorgeous.
so that people at home could see. These are the houses, the ancient drow houses, essentially. So like ancestral houses of the drow, and then these are the abilities that Sam is talking about, kind of assigning based on what their ancestors, what house their ancestors belong to.
So we're going with
I just like
Aliquum, Repairers of Reputations for Chu. At the end of the situation, remove all stress marked against reputation.
Yeah, I like that. Should I write these down?
Yeah, you're gonna want to write this down. The only thing is, like I will have to perform it again if we get to a different situation. You will lose that power at the end of the situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
which would
okay.
it be when like we leave the
Mortician.
Yeah.
The
Mortician's
necropolis.
So
Yeah,
you
so
will always
that's
have
gonna be a
this
while.
ability will always be your ability. You can't switch which
Yes.
house you belong to, but Sam has to, or Edic has to re-up the magic for it to draw out the innate ability each time you. So Edic has to kind of intentionally do this right for the power to be present with you going into or during a situation.
Should we put this in like the in like
Wherever
one of
you
the
kind of
channels?
want in your
That
character sheet.
means when you want a private thing and we don't want the guy to know I'm there, I could just stand in the room before he comes in and close my eyes and just be fucking invisible. And then when it's time, I'll just open my eyes and be like, I got questions, motherfucker.
Would take the stress though, because that ability that she's gonna use is like
I would, but I can fuck off mind stress pretty well.
Yeah, it's only
I
wrong
don't want to
if
get
you're not
cocky. I don't want to
the.
pull. I don't want to pull a Tyler and just be like, "Yeah, come at me, bro."
Aw,
But
that's now officially Spire lingo. Pull a Tyler.
Hey, it worked almost every time for Kelby. Broken
Okay,
not so
do you-
much.
so
Like,
do I
like at
think
all.
Yeah.
it's okay for me to take the motionless one, or
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, and people can belong to the same house if you decide, like.
oh, for sure. I
these
like
are
the compel one, but I feel like Alvi would really just fucking love to blend into nothingness sometimes. So
And then what's your house, Sam?
I went with Malrique, the Unlidded Eye. I cannot be surprised or ambushed.
That's right. Okay.
Ooh.
I put
Um,
them all in info dump just
Oh,
so we could
nice.
have them in case we need them.
Perfect.
Thanks, Leila.
What was Din's?
And,
Grindel, the
the-
Crimson Hunters.
Crimson Hunters. Nice.
I love the name Grindel.
Cool.
It's nice.
Grindel. It's a
Yeah.
very din name.
Reminded me of Grimbles.
So, and last but not least, and I dig into my pocket and I pull out a small orb, and I give it to Chew.
What is this?
Chew, this is something that I crafted in a time of a great internal strife. Beset upon me from your concert the other evening.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
not had popular music move me in such a way, and so I crafted this. And if you look at it, you notice something quite unmistakable about it. One, it has like a kaleidoscopic kind of aspect to it. So if you twist it, it like morphs like the aspects of reality, reflected through it. And secondly, you know this to be the hallmark of one particular anonymous street artist that is quite popular, and his name is Danksy.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And last but not least about that, so Chew, this is important for you now. I'm gonna read the text. Through you now get access to this. I'm calling it Danksy's Charm. Through spending 30 minutes transfixed on the unreal nature of the artwork, you find peace through the exploration of the inner recesses of your mind. Remove D3 mind stress.
Wow. It's an actual piece of like good useful item. I thought it was just gonna be like a trinket. Holy crap. Wait, what does it do? D3, what's it called again?
Danksy's Charm.
Danksy's Charm. Okay, and it removes mind stress. Got
Yeah,
it.
but you have to spend 30 minutes though.
Yeah. 30 minutes. Okay. Would you say this is a beautiful object? Just out of curiosity?
I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. you know, right?
At
So it,
least from like a God point of view, is this a is
Well,
this
from
a
the
beautiful object?
I love all my children and their creations equally, says God.
Good to know.
Yeah, I think that as we've learned early on, and when you guys were still creating your characters, Chu and Edic have very different opinions on what beauty means. But this is clearly an art piece. It is very, I think, complex. If that's the right, if Sam, if you agree,
yeah.
if I interpreted what you said correctly, I think it's very complex and compelling. Very interesting to look at. I think beauty, like Sam said, or is in the eye of the beholder, and we know that Chu and Edic have differing opinions on that. So
Yeah. So the reason I ask is because I have a refresh that says destroy uh, a beautiful person or object by offering it up to the deep. Not that I'm going to destroy your work, Sam, but if I'm carrying this orb around and I'm in like a sticky situation, I'm wondering if I could just be like to the deep and just like break it and I get a refresh and I'm good. And
So I threw it on the ground.
yeah, and then it just
I
shatters and all of a sudden all the stress
I
comes
think
off,
that it is up to Chu to, and I would love, and you don't have to do this because this is me literally giving you like role playing notes, so like don't do this if you don't want
Yeah.
to. I would love for Chu to be like confused about whether or not this is beautiful, and so like trying to like get a determination on whether or not this is beautiful by like showing it to people and being like, what do you think? Like, so, and like ultimately like it's your call.
Yeah.
When Chu comes to a conclusion about this. You can play that however you want, but I think that would be very funny. It's totally your call though. You can decide what you
No,
want
yeah,
with
that
that.
sounds great. Especially because like I think to Chu, like beauty is something that is decided upon by like the masses to a certain extent. Like if other people think it holds beauty, then Chu like would like find that. But I think she's also just been like really fucked up and skewed, so she kind of like has to like contextualize the beauty that she like assigns to things. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a great like yeah,
Okay.
Chu is definitely gonna like carry this around and be like, so on
Okay.
like a
So
scale of 1 to 10.
between the applying of makeup, the rite of the ancestors thing, dynastic tradition or whatever it is, and the kind of
Can I
planning.
just say one
Yes,
quick thing
please.
before we leave?
Yep.
As Alvy. Uh, um, so, two things. If I'm going to be the one asking questions, because that way I will know if he's lying to us, could we maybe give me some questions to ask? I don't always ask the right ones, but I have to come up with questions myself. I realize this.
Well,
I
I mean, I
can.
think we'll have them like tied up, so you can just say whatever comes to mind at
Oh,
that point.
sure.
Then
If that's what you think we'll be doing, then yes. But
do we
also, do we
have
want
rope?
to? Could we say that perhaps you're like a, we don't need to tell them that you're an idol as we're checking in, but I often, sometimes the wealthier clients of the morticians are actually permitted to be torn apart by the corvids and vultures that cluster and flap around the turrets of New Heaven. So maybe we could say that you are talking with a higher up person because you are a wealthier client who had somebody who died and you're trying to set them up to be torn apart by said birds.
Sure, that sounds great. Yeah, that's a wild fact. Never cease to surprise, Alvi. I just want to make sure that everybody is cool with me assaulting this person.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I was thinking that like whenever we go and do this, that maybe like I could talk to the front desk person, like whatever that means, with my citizen's mask and pretend like I'm talking on behalf of like not Chu, but this wealthy client, right? So that way it's like you're even more important because you can't even speak to these desk people
Yes, and it will also protect my identity even more.
because you keep the hood.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
remember, picked apart by birds. That's the really important thing.
Of course.
All right. So y'all start heading out. Chu knows the way from Alvy's or not Alvy's. Why? It's just like it's all just all the things scrambled. Um, starts heading out, following Chu's directions from Mara, and you make it easily enough to the front desk. And there's you're actually kind of past like the initial entryway. because you're coming from the initiate's quarters into kind of the main lobby. So you actually skip kind of like the front area. And now you're kind of going towards like where like kind of a more business desk would be, rather than like the front like reception. So yeah. And there are a couple initiates. They are wearing slightly different clothing than Mara and Halim, indicating maybe they're higher or lower status than like maybe Mara and Halim are either slightly older or slightly younger in the program than these initiates. It's unclear, but there's definitely kind of initiates at the desk who are like jotting down some notes, kind of quietly talking to each other. And as they see Din and the rest kind of approaching, they kind of straighten up and and one of them looks up. Din, I'm presuming you're in the, kind of the front of the group. Looks at Din and says, "Yes, hello. Can I help direct you somewhere?"
So I'm wearing the citizen's mask.
Okay.
Good day to you. I've got a wealthy client. I'm like British now. I've got a wealthy client.
Hello,
They
Governor.
have an appointment with Thean to have their loved one picked apart by birds. And there we go. I found it. I got there. To have a loved one picked apart by birds. Right, we see Thean.
Oh, I didn't. And they kind of look over to their companion, and like their companion's kind of shuffling some notes, and they're like, it's oh, okay. And they're like looking around you at the rest of the group, and I presume Chu kind of has her hood up.
Her hood,
Yeah,
yeah.
and right, it's just that usually we're alerted when there's specific like appointments made. And it looks like we
She's gonna
don't.
like cross her arms and tap her foot, like
Mm-hmm.
And I look back, like, you know, like it behind my mask, right?
Yeah.
My eyes get big and they see, and I'm like, are we not on the register?
Oh, maybe we just miss Lace. Um, you know what? We'll just really quick, maybe I can pop back and double check with Thean that he's expecting you. And then I'll send you back.
That'd be great. That's top notch.
Okay. And they get up and kind of shuffle their way into the back. And the other one is sitting there just kind of like looking at you and kind of like looking back at Din a little, or at Shu a little bit, and back to Din, like, picked apart by birds, huh? Yep.
I don't acknowledge them, and I just walk back to Chew, and I'm like, is this what we want? Like, is this working? Like to
hey,
the
what's
group.
what's happening? Are they gonna go get them or
That's what it says. They're gonna check.
yeah, it should be fine. I mean, as long as we can get like a conversation going, I can get us back to their office maybe, and then from there ask for privacy. And then once we have privacy, y'all wait for the go word, which will be fuck, just screamed really loud. And then when I say that, you guys all come in and we tie him to hold him down. You know, I'm not the greatest at that, so I
What
need
if we
some.
have the private room and before he walks you in there, I slip in and close my eyes and stand still for a minute?
The initiate, who is the one that was talking to Din, kind of comes back out and says, excuse me, hi, and kind of catches Din's eye, gestures Din over. I'm so sorry. It does seem like Thean must have misplaced your appointment. He was just wondering if you could pass along maybe a message of like which client you are, because that way he can prepare for you before he sees you. We're not we just want to make sure everything's in order.
This is of the utmost importance. My client's confidentiality is integral to her identity. Ian must not have noted it. I assure you, if followed the proper channels and made the proper appointments, will he not come to the front?
Roll deceive and
Okay, I
religion.
do have this skill. I do not
The
have religion,
religion
so that's
domain.
2d10.
So do 2d10.
Luck.
Okay, a 6.
Okay.
6 is success with at a cost. So let's go ahead and roll.
What does your citizen's mask do, Din?
I gain the sneak skill.
Okay.
So I roll with mastery when I'm unimportant. So I guess I could have rolled 3. When I'm trying to pass myself off as unimportant or beneath the attention of your target. But like, I don't know.
Is
I
it
don't know if
only
I
with
should have rolled
sneak or is
higher.
it just in general? You just gain the sneak skill and
Uh,
then you also
yeah,
roll
I
with
gain
mastery
the
when you're
sneak
kind of
skill.
passing yourself off as unimportant.
Right.
I mean, in this case, I feel like you are literally passing yourself off as important. Like you want them to think that you
Right.
are important enough. Like not you personally, but like you're calling attention to like choose importance. So I think even though it's not you personally, I feel like it's kind of counterintuitive to the. Okay, so you do mark 3 stress, and it's going to be to shadow. Do you have resistance to that or?
I have resistance, but I already had 2, so now it's 3 total, but 5.
So you're at 3 stress though, above your resistance. Okay. And I'm gonna roll Fallout. So this has to be a 2 or lower for you to take Fallout on this. So a 2 or it's a 10, so you're fine. All right. So and the reason for this kind of shadow stress here is you actually see a mortician kind of poking their head around the corner to look at you. And as you're kind of saying this, and this initiate is kind of hemming and hawing like they don't know what to do, this mortician steps out from the hallway, and they're kind of short, a little hunched forward, and they wave to the initiate and they say, it's fine, go back to your business. And they look at you and they kind of like smile a little bit knowingly, like they've never met you before, but they're like, I believe you were asking for me. It must have just not gotten filed properly. Why don't you bring your and kind of looks over the party, eyes kind of falling on Chu, and then back to you and says, your associate's back. And this, you presume, is Thean because the initiate does not put up any kind of fight.
I would, gesture and follow.
Do they match like any sort of physical description we would have gotten from?
I don't think Mara gave you a physical description. Just that.
We sure didn't ask.
No,
Yep,
we
smart.
should have done that.
Just that he was someone that she doesn't like, and that you could ask for him at this desk. Yeah. So y'all are heading back, Ian? Okay. Let's cut over to Rauka. So we have Rauka has where we left off was this mistress, as the Knolls call her, holding out this item that is resonating very strongly with Rauka and Ashira, to the point of almost like it feels like something in you is vibrating violently, not just like a kind of not just like a buzzing, but like a full on shaking inside of you. Yeah. Oh wait, I thought you were raising your hand to be like, can I?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
And as this kind of shaking is occurring, you feel like parts of your body are like exploding outward. You look and you see that physically that is not happening. It just feels like it is. And you see like the Knolls around you, kind of like stumbling back as this is occurring. You cannot perceive what they must be perceiving, and nor can this woman, the mistress, who is kind of just smiling at you with this held aloft, and she looks at the Knolls, who are kind of like fearfully looking at you, and like moving back from you, and she says, "Well, hurry up!" And they kind of snap to attention, and like cautiously but firmly approach you, and tie you up. So you are now bound with rope, and not only bound with rope, but this rope seems to be infused in some way with demonic power. It is as soon as it's on you, she kind of pockets this token that she was holding up, or this item that she was holding up to cause this sensation. And instead, you feel just kind of drained immediately of energy. You are fatigued, lethargic, like it would be a drag for you, like it would be hard for you to walk at this point. And you kind of feel like some of, as your energy like drains a bit, you kind of, your knees collapse and the knolls kind of catch under your arms. And she nods, kind of like satisfied that you're under control. And gestures for the gnolls to follow her, and she kind of goes around you because you were on your way out and she was kind of caught up to you in the doorway. Goes around you, and the gnolls kind of drag you. You are actually not, they do not turn you around to face her, they're dragging you backwards so you can see kind of the door receding behind you. And you are dragged deeper into this this place where you have been taken. And as they kind of take you into this room, where she has them deposit you in a chair, and then kind of dismisses the gnolls. And she takes a seat across from you. Does not undo the ropes that are binding you. And she just takes her time kind of looking you over. It's very much not looking at Rauka. It's looking at a specimen, looking at an interesting
vessel,
thing,
a container,
an eidolon, one might say.
Yep.
And just kind of like saying interesting. And then she turns around, she grabs some paper off of her desk, and she starts making a few notes as she does this. And yeah, this goes on for a little while. So if you wanted to say anything, or whatever, try something, like she's just gonna sit here and kind of like look at you and like occasionally like prod and things like that, but taking notes.
Sure. Let me take a look at my bag of tricks and see what I could maybe do. Is there a way for me to figure out exactly what the rope is doing?
You can roll investigate and occult at difficulty 2.
I'm gonna let it be a mystery for now.
Make it more stress.
No, that's too much of a gamble. We're not going to do that.
I imagine that this is kind of happening live as well, that Rauka is kind of like going through like mentally like trying to, and it is hard to keep your brain focused enough to get through this list. It's taking way more time for you to kind of tick through, like, can I figure out what these ropes are? And like you look at the ropes and you feel your eyes start swimming and you're like, that could go bad, and you're like, could I do, and like you feel, and so as this is happening, as you're kind of imagining things that you might be able to do, she pulls out an instrument and she says, look here, and dangles it in front of your face, literally like snapping at you to get your attention, like wanting your eyes to focus on this little, it's almost like a tuning fork. It does not seem to be made out of metal. It is hard to tell what material it is. And she holds it in front of your face, and kind of moves it back and forth, trying to get your eyes to catch on it.
Yeah, I am behaving for now.
Okay.
Do you know Zoya, who weighs the scales by chance?
Um, she kind of smiles indulgently at you. Oh, you are talking, I presume, about your, well, I know about your former durance master that you escaped from early, I believe. Is that correct? And then she kind of whacks the tuning fork on her wrist and holds it next to your ear and says, "Could you describe what this feels like for me?" And it feels um, like someone is digging something large and pointy into your ear, into your brain, and trying to get something to come out the other side. It is painful and horrible and loud in your ears.
Mm, mm. We would like you to stop,
Oh,
if at all possible.
it's interesting. Actually, could you, and she stills the noise on this tuning fork and says, and she pulls up her notebooks and she starts taking a note and she's like, "What do you mean?"
The royal we.
I know, you don't have to be coy with me. I know about the demon. What is this something that is typically like you just like in a normal day? Would you say that the demon is present in your mind, or is it like like what's that like to having them with you?
Um, could I ask what this test is for? Perhaps if you are part of the right party, perhaps I might be able to assist you. However, if you are a friend of Zoya's, I must ask that you do not,
Zoya is rather relevant to me and what I do and who I work for. I don't think you quite understand the situation here, though. Um, okay, sorry. Elise needs to clarify. It's Lenka, right? Was your name?
Lenka. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I don't think you quite understand the situation here, Lenka. There is no, mm, there's no version of this where I don't get what I want. So there are options for you in
Hmm.
terms of how bad it is for you. And so I suggest answering my questions, following along, and
Hmm. Hmm.
we'll minimize how bad it goes.
For now, we can talk. If things get a little more difficult later, I might have to stop. But um, this do you have a blanket? I did spend quite a bit of time in a ice box.
You start by answering my questions, and I'll see about getting you a blanket. What's it like having a demon in your head? Is she there, or are they there all day, or is it like sometimes they're there? Do they sleep? Do you sleep?
That's a very loaded series of questions. Um, y- it's a feeling more than a conversation. Um, she would not like you. Um, I don't think she can stretch her legs with me. I don't think that she would like being encased in an eidolon or being stationary. Um,
Hmm.
um,
Is it
we
something about you specifically, Rauka, that makes that she's attached to, or is it
well,
would
initially
any
it was, but
hmm,
she found me amusing at first, and then a relationship grew out of that.
I see. And so would you say that any drow who could survive the process of being turned into an eidolon would be able to form such a relationship with her?
Uh, I would say no. I think that that they probably wouldn't be very accepting. I do get in quite a bit of scrapes at night. I do a very aggressive form of sleepwalking. Um,
Interesting. So she comes to life more, we might say, at night.
um, perhaps. Um, I don't like where this is going.
Oh, let me get you that blanket. And she gets up and leaves for a minute. You're currently alone in this room, which kind of seems like an office. It's sparse enough that if this is an office or her office, you don't think this is like where she works from day to day. But there's enough stuff here that suggests that she's here from time to time and needs her instruments and her tools and her notes and things here as well. So this looks maybe like a remote or auxiliary office.
Mm-hmm. Let me. Okay, so while we're alone, I'm a real quick, just in my brain, just Shira.
Ashira is. There's always a sense of Ashira being present. Ashira, if you think about like metaphysical distance from Ashira, not physical distance, Ashira's presence to you always feels like this kind of spectrum between like right below your skin when she's like really with you to kind of like kind of distant in like you have to kind of dig deep to find her way. In this case, the response, the way that you kind of get an immediate rumble, the way that like her like shuddering underneath your skin feels, is that she is right beneath your skin right now. She is present, she is alert,
Great.
and
Great.
focused, and angry.
I think I can get us out of here. Do you think that these binds will hold us if I do things here? They're going to screw with your mojo.
You feel similar to earlier when she smelled the sulfur. You feel your head and your eyes kind of against your, like not with your input from your brain, turn to gaze at the ropes again. Roll resist for me.
Okay. Would you say that this is interacting with demons?
No. Yeah,
Great.
this is right in the middle
So
of interacting with demons. Yes.
We get the full 3 for.
Okay, 8 is success, no stress.
Okay.
And we're not doing um we're not doing this at difficulty because this was Ashira,
Okay.
right? Because it's a resist against the effect happening to Rauka due to Ashira's attempt to do it. And so the success did not depend on Rauka. How much stress you took depended on Rauka.
Sure.
And you can feel physically the sensation of like your eyes like feeling too dry, like burning, almost that sensation of like too dry burning, and like the strain of looking at what's on these ropes, kind of like hurting. But you are motivated, and Ashira is motivated enough that this does not kind of translate into further stress. And as this happens, you kind of get this flood of sensations, kind of in like a rapid series of images, which is a way that Ashira occasionally communicates with you. Sometimes she uses words, sometimes she uses images. It's kind of a mishmash, similar to when she just does whatever, like when your true form is revealed, like that kind of like kaleidoscopic. That's kind of how she is to you as well. And what you get from this is that these ropes specifically suppress two things. One, physical, like, power, so like your stamina, your energy, your ability to kind of do things. You are weakened, you are fatigued, right, physically by these ropes. And two, um they are meant to contain demonic power that happens from a source that is within them. So things that have demonic power can affect you while you are bound with these ropes, but it is
Mhm.
very hard for things to originate from you doing demonic, like exerting demonic force into the world. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure. How well am I bound here? Is yeah, like I have a knife. I don't know if they would have taken my equipment from me as they bound me. I can see if I can.
Make a luck roll, roll a d10.
Sure. Wow, that is. You know what? That's fair.
Yeah, you have been stripped of useful things, knives,
Sure.
armor, anything like that.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will just wait for my blanket.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, you
bide,
don't wait.
bide my
You don't wait much longer. And this woman comes back in. She does have a blanket and she does kind of drape it around you. And she has several other things as well. And one of them, well, all of them you recognize on sight as things that are used as offerings to demons, things that
uh,
are especially attractive to demons. Um, and the kind of she sets those down very, it's a very measured like placing of each one. They're set apart at particular intervals, several inches apart from each other, lined up on the desk as if on display, like a menu.
mhm,
And then produces an item. And as you look at this item, you have no doubt that this is an eidolon and a powerful one, but an empty one. And
mhm.
kind of sets it on the desk behind this kind of menu of items. And she looks back over to you and she kind of smiles and she says, um, what should I address the demon in your mind as? Is there a name or a title that she prefers?
Uh, we have talked many times about never using true names, as that could go very bad. So I can, speak to her. Um, we can play telephone. Um, if that
You can
is-
play what? Kidding.
Oh, right. Are there phones in Spire? There are no phones in Spire. We can play Whisper Down the Red Row Alley.
Oh god. And she kind of she kind of laughs a little, and she says, I think I would rather something else. And she pulls another item from her bag, and or from her kind of pockets. And she holds it up, and this is, she's got this tuning fork thing, she's got this token that causes this
Mhm.
resonating thing. This is like a metal disc with the center of it kind of cut out. And
Okay.
she says, "Now, I've never tried this on a drow before, so we're just going to do our best and hope for good results." And she holds it up closer, and as it gets kind of closer to you, you feel this like um kind of like resistance, like she's having to force it close to you. And again,
Mhm.
you get this like buzzing sensation. This is much more of like buzzing. It's not that kind of intense vibrating of earlier. And
Mhm.
it's familiar in the sense of like when a Shira is right under your skin, or when you're falling asleep, it's like a Shira waking up. And she holds it closer and closer to you and kind of pushes and pushes. And she's like, this is so fascinating. Normally with Eidolons, it's not this kind of. And like finally, there's like this switch, this like flip, and you feel like you are inside your body. and looking out through your eyes, but from a distance.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she kind of smiles and she's like, now, I believe I'm talking to who I actually wanted to talk to. And you feel your chest kind of vibrate and rumble as your voice responds without you intending to. And it is not words, it is this kind of deep, guttural, like, yell.
hmm
um and she kind of laughs and she's like, oh, that is, I was wondering if you would be angry. And she picks up some of the items that she brought, this kind of menu of things, and she says, we do have a large supply of fresh meat available. Does this, and she kind of wafts this like fresh chunk of drow in front of Rauka's nose, and you feel yourself smell it, and you smell it like you have never smelled something before. Ashira is smelling this through your nose, and you are experiencing what it is like to smell something as Ashira. And it
Mm.
smells good to you. It smells very good to you. And you feel this kind of like rumble inside of you again, and it's still angry. And she kind of nods and she sets it down and she goes down the line and kind of offers all of these things to Ashira, who just kind of like has this ongoing rumble of anger response. And when she gets to the end of the line, she sets it down, the last kind of item down, and she's like, now, we don't have a suitable candidate lined up, um, but it's clear that this person that you've currently inhabited um, doesn't share our goals or interests, and we would like to offer you an infinite supply of these types of items. We can transfer you temporarily too, and she picks up this eidolon, this kind of stable. It's quite beautiful. It's like this kind of artistic almost piece. It is much more than the kind of generic eidolons that have been created over time. She's like, this is actually quite an ancient eidolon. I think you might find it suitable. It's been used by many demons in the past, but currently hasn't been inhabited for quite a while, and has been a stable and pleasant vessel for many. Um, and as soon as we have a suitable candidate, we would transfer you, of course, to a drow again. And you hear Ashira like say to you, like, um, she kind of transfers this idea to you, and like through her rumbles through, like, she's saying nothing out loud, but to you inside
hmm
your own body, she says, are you ready? Um, and you kind of feel her impart to you. Remind me what the name of your new advance is, the medium advance. It's the
It
one
is
with like the
called
blood.
Torrent.
Torrent. You feel her
Yes.
kind of impart knowledge of Torrent to you.
hmm
And again she kind of repeats, are you ready?
I give her all the green light feelings back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with that, you feel Ashira like flex, and these ropes dig into your flesh, and you feel Ashira flex more, and you see from inside your body what it looks like for your true form to start to push itself out of
hmm
you. And that kind of kaleidoscopic, impossible to look at, lights everywhere. It's just utter visual and sensory chaos. Starts to force its way out against the bonds on your arms, and in a second, like this kind of frays the ropes binding your wrists, and the ropes on your legs stay put. It doesn't break those. You feel
hmm
kind of almost half freed. And you're like she kind of pulls apart finally these ones on your wrists,
hmm
and you feel this true form kind of push its way out, and the mistress person, this woman, like kind of stumbles back. Her eyes are very wide, and she's still mumbling things like, oh my god, we have to write this, and she's like scrambling but like can't take her eyes off, and she's like very and you feel Ashira subside within you, not fully, like it's how it is when you're in your true form, this kind of blend of you and
Yeah.
Ashira, and you feel back in
Yeah.
control of your body.
Great. Now that I got my hands free, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna bite down hard enough on my tongue so that it bleeds to get this going.
Okay.
Just gonna give me the d6 of stress here. So let's see how much it's gonna hurt.
That's a 1. So
Look at that.
you know,
Um,
some days. And that's blood stress. Do you have any
that
resistance?
is blood stress. I do have slots, so yeah, I will have one slot to blood left over after
Okay.
that. So great. And now I have well, we're gonna, if it's okay with you, I don't know if there's would be like an initiative or anything that would happen immediately after this, but I am going to attempt to use my torrent ability on her. Let me pull up again. So it has the devastating tag, which I actually don't
I
have.
think that means you roll twice and take the higher roll.
That's brutal.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Devastating, I think, means that it like goes through any kind
Your
of armor.
Oh, okay.
Double check it.
Because I had devastating on when I went into
Yes.
Vishnu
You cannot
form.
allocate stress inflicted by this weapon to armor, even if it has the implacable tag.
Okay. And then so it says that I can pull their blood out just by gesturing at them. Do I roll a fight roll for that, or does it just happen?
I think it just happens unless it tells you to roll something. It would say
It
like roll
does
fight
not.
and yeah. So you do this gesture, this kind of pull, and how much damage does it do?
D6. So we
Rolling.
gonna find out.
Okay. It's a 5 for because I don't have the map up. I have to remember y'all can't see the rolls unless I put the other view up now. So this you see as this well, we'll go to break in just a second, I promise. As this kind of like gesture kind of like happens, you see this power of yours, this like this new power that Ashira is kind of imparting on you, slam against something else before it hits her. And it overcomes whatever this is, right? It does not stop the force of this blow, but it does mitigate the force of this blow down. But you see her like buckle over in pain, and you watch as like something like that is hidden under her shirt. She has some sort of like armor or something. It's not physical armor. This is like magical armor. You can see it splinter under her shirt. It like cracks in such a way that like it rips a hole in like the top of her shirt. And then you see her like buckle over and like cough and right, and like just blood spatters onto the like across like her desk. And as this happens, she kind of like she looks up at you now, and this is like the first time that her face has lost this kind of like smiling, very patient, like indulgent, like mothering almost like in way, and she is furious. And as she does this, she whips out the same item that she had used earlier to freeze you kind of in your tracks, and like it's that initial the very first item that she used, and she like pushes it towards you. And as this happens, as she pushes it towards you, you feel Ashira collapsing back inside of you. No longer your true form is shown, but you feel Rauka reemerging and Ashira subsiding. And as that happens, she yells. She's just like for the guards, for the gnolls, and like they come running in, and they grab you, they subdue you. You get knocked over the head, and you are unconscious. And we are going to break.
What?
No.
Unconscious is not enough.
No resolution.
Not yet. We gotta manage our fluids. We gotta
I can hold it.
no. All right. So we're gonna take a 10-minute break. And we'll be right back to continue seeing what happens here. And yes, so rejoin us at 8:35/10:35 Eastern time. And with that, I'm gonna take us to 10 minutes. Hello again. Hi. I forget where the camera is every time. I'm like, hey. So hi everybody. Here we are back after break. And we are going to, as I'm sure you're all dying to know what's happening to our unconscious Rauka. We are popping over to Thean and the Morticians and our group that is over there. So let's hear from that crew. You have just been led to the back, or behind. You know, there's kind of offices and things back here. It doesn't look like most morticians have private offices in this part of the building. This is like where people are met. And there are much more private areas that you are not allowed to go. But when morticians are kind of thought by name and come out here to um, um, when morticians are kind of asked for by name and they come to meet with like wealthy clients or whatever, this is where they kind of like meet. And so there are like nice reception rooms, things like that. And that's where you are led now by Thean into like a nice reception room. There's tables. It's compared to the where the initiates met you. This is snazzy. This is like Chu is like, oh yes, these are my people. This is where I belong. Um,
Is it private? Like, I know you said it's not like private, like a private office, but like, is like, because you said it's like a
It's private.
receptionist area.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. It's like it's their receiving
Yeah.
areas, but think of like a funeral home, like kind almost like this is a receiving area, but only you are going to be received here.
Okay.
So because you know this is private business there, and you're probably going to pay a lot, so they receive kind of wealthy clients in nice reception rooms, but they are private rooms. Yeah, so there's tables. It's well decorated. There's like a table with some refreshments laid out on it. And Ian, kind of is like, well, come in, come in. And kind of like looks both ways as he kind of closes the doors and turns and like again with this kind of like knowing smile looks at Din and is just like, I don't think we did misplace your paperwork. Um, may I ask who it is I have the pleasure of meeting today?
While someone is chewing, I will nod solemnly and gesture.
Good stall,
Yeah.
good stall.
And that was good. Yeah. As I get gesture to, Chu will take off her hood and be like, and then say, I'd heard that you perhaps would want to keep your association with idols less, well, let's say, open. Is this correct?
Oh, and he kind of like straightens his shoulders a little. And Chu, like with the makeup and the kind of spell that you've cast, you look not so dissimilar to just how Chu looks, but in the sense that like your day-to-day makeup, like what you would wear for like a daily, like it's very nice. This is like your glamorous makeup, right? This is like a show. You've got more glitter, more glitz, more glam, more like screaming like look at me, than your
Yeah.
typical makeup. And it definitely like makes your features, if you think like the difference between like the models in like a Kohl's magazine and like the models who are like high fashion models, like that's what we're talking about, right? You have this kind of like almost like strange beauty to your features now as opposed to like a kind of like not that Chu is not beautiful all the time, but like it isn't, your makeup is done to like accentuate the like the strangeness of your features, rather than
Yeah.
like make you look like pleasing to everybody,
Yeah.
universally.
And Chu will kind of like walk over like close by and like be like, hey, yeah, so I was hoping we could reach an arrangement. A dear friend of mine passed away, and you came very highly recommended from, well, other idols.
Oh, um, do you know the Swan?
Not personally, but we've had some correspondence, and your name is passed around as, well, the best mortician, if I'm being honest.
Oh, well, that's excellent. What is it? Is it like stammering, just like astounded by your beauty here? He's kind of like very eager to kind of please in this moment, and it's just like, what is it I should address you as?
Oh, well, you can call me the Queen of Excess if you like. Bleh. Sorry, I don't like out of character. Bleh, I don't like this guy.
I just love the idea of you being like, you can call me Queen of X.
Bleh. Throws up a little.
Yeah. It's like,
No,
oh
I think
God, I'm just struck with grief.
she's like practiced enough, I think, to like stomach the rising need to vomit.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so she's very much like yeah, Queen. You can call me Queen of Excess, and I came prepared. I realized that it's quite expensive to procure such fine services as yourself. So I came with a few options that perhaps we could speak about in private. And I like look at my group and I look back at him and I'm like, perhaps my crew could go watch the door for us.
Oh, of course. And he kind of opens the doors and like looks at all of you like, like get out.
Wait, why am I eating
Standing
carrot?
still with my eyes closed this whole conversation, and now
So are Din and Eddic leaving, but Alvi is remaining but invisible, right? That what's happening?
I would say like as soon as we walked in, I would have like found a corner and just like
Yeah.
closed my eyes and just.
And I'll like distract him away
Yeah.
from them.
My shoulders are like up
He's
to here
distracted,
too. I'm
don't worry.
super fucking uncomfortable as I'm also not being
Yes.
noticed. I'm just like.
So, Dean, are you do you like popcorn?
Get out.
I'm as we're walking away, I'm using my dead drop ability to just have some popcorn.
Okay.
It's a good one, yeah.
I inhaled a piece
Okay.
of apple. Sorry.
Oh no.
I'm fine.
Your fake laughs
eating all
turn
these, like,
or fake
healthy
coughs
foods.
turn into real cough.
It's really buttery It's more butter than popcorn, really.
Yeah. Okay. So I just stand there
Wondering
with my
if
eyes listening.
I'll
Oh,
need
buddy.
to try to overhear it. Is that something I would have to roll for to try to overhear it? Probably, right?
You have my cup of listening.
I
do
think
have
that
I'm
the
also
listening
in there
cup.
listening too.
the biggest thing is like I think that these doors are not built to keep like prying ears from listening. Like if you're really listening, though, like the way that like a guardhouse would like be kind of specifically built to like not. Oh,
Okay.
look what's happened, Tyler! You've everybody's shuffled. Claim your new identity. No, too late. Okay. Anyway. Whenever if you turn off if you turn off your camera.
Did I ruin it?
No, it's okay. It's just that like the overlay like changes
Everything.
because Discord changes, and so people get shuffled. Yeah. Ava actually
God.
that didn't do anything.
I'm so sorry.
Ava's the only one
She came
allowed to.
back.
No, please. No, it's not a big deal. People can handle it. If you need to turn off your camera, please do. Everybody. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay. Yeah, so you don't but what you would want to be aware of or like to think is that like it will be obvious to people walking by, and this is a populated enough area that like you sitting there being like, what's going on behind this door will make people be like, excuse me, there are private conversations happening. So like you might want to think about doing this stealthily if you want to do it.
I'm also in there, and I could tell you everything after. I mean, so
Well,
it's
yeah.
true.
I mean, in theory, It's more like I just would want to, like, in case something went wrong, be able to come in quickly. But like, if it's gonna be super obvious, I think that what does the hallway look like?
What if I could have a bee stinged in if something goes wrong?
It's a fairly wide hallway. There are rooms on both sides. This whole complex, the Mortician's complex, is a very oddly spacious, airy kind of place. It is protected from the sun, so it's not like you have to worry about the sun, but it is definitely like this kind of spacious, airy place. It is quiet in the way that any place that kind of deals with the dead is typically kind of quiet. People talk in hushed voices around here, and this hallway is similar to the reception rooms, the receiving rooms that kind of line this hallway where morticians might meet with wealthy clients. Um, the hallway is kind of gilded with gold and other kind of precious metals and things like throughout the hallway to make it this kind of beautiful place. And certainly has a kind of creepiness to it, especially with all of the morticians walking around in kind of black and white kind of robes and garb.
Maybe I would stand like out just outside the door as if I'm like clearly kind of like not necessarily guarding it, but like I'm with whoever's inside and I'm kind of their security detail or
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, totally. And Edic, I presume you are kind of following suit here. You're muted. You're muted.
You're still muted.
Are you making it obvious that you're like just listening in and that's all you're doing, or
I'm not making it like I'm just standing there, but I'm definitely like trying to hear, but I'm not like, you
okay?
know.
So if Edic was to try to have a conversation with you, you'd shut him up.
I would ignore you. Yes.
Okay. He's just gonna stand there.
I could roleplay that.
I
It's
think
like,
that's very much
"So,
a
how's
Din
this
thing,
going?"
though, like ignoring you. Hmm.
Okay, so the two of you are just kind of stationed outside the door, listening in case something goes wrong, but not intentionally like I'm gonna listen to catch every word. So, okay. On the
Does it seem like there's anyone else like super close to us that is within earshot of what's being discussed?
No, you definitely see like there are a few groups of morticians in this hallway. You see kind of one small group of like three who has kind of collected themselves in a corner to talk amongst themselves, as well as a single mortician who's kind of pacing up and down a little bit as if waiting for somebody. Um, uh, but nobody seems to, and like people are coming and going a bit, but there's not otherwise, it is fairly populated in that like this seems to be the main kind of thoroughfare through which a lot of people who were out, anybody who had business out in the world who is now re-entering the morticians like enclave here comes through this way, so there's actually quite a
Okay.
bit of traffic in that regard.
Okay, well then I'm just doing my best to remain nonchalant and like look like I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Okay, cool. So inside the room, Theon kind of looks around and is like, didn't you have 3 companions on the way in? I thought I only saw 2 leave.
Oh, who cares about that? Let's get back to business.
So, tell me, should I say Your Majesty? Thinks he's very clever making this pun on
Oh my
being Queen of
gosh,
Excess.
that's so good. How did you just come up with that?
I pride myself on clever wordplay.
Elvie makes a mental note to call you Your Majesty the next time she talks to you.
I'm gonna enjoy this. Like,
I mean, you are Your Highness in the other. Oh man, in Finner.
Okay, so and he's kind of like, now I know you said that your business, you didn't really state what your business was, but given the way that you've kind of talked around things, am I to presume that this is about perhaps something besides our typical offerings as morticians?
I would like a very special I should say, passage for this person, and I think that you are the most suited one for that. It is going to be an expensive endeavor. I will cover as many costs as you'd like. But before we get to that, I thought perhaps I could sweeten the deal with you. I know that I have a certain skill set, and I thought perhaps you could enjoy a more personal, let's say, oh my god, I'm blanking out. What's it called when you like,
A private concert
yeah, but like when you showcase something for the like,
premiere.
yeah, I thought you could enjoy a more private premiere of my next show, exclusive, as you would say, as payment, one-on-one, for your consideration of rendered services.
Oh, well, Miss Chu, that is extremely generous of you to offer. I just want to clarify. Our, sometimes it sounds like we're talking about a burial, and sometimes it sounds like we're talking about things more akin to what the swan wished to procure. Is this?
Why am I eating a carrot?
I love the idea of Chu just being like crunch in the middle of this like intense, like, oh, I can give you a performance. Yeah.
Yeah,
this,
that's part of it. That's
is
part
this-
of the seduction.
Yeah. Is this more an expensive burial by itself, or is this? Are you looking for specialized wares that perhaps you can only get here?
Well, I would be lying if I told you that I didn't know of your other services that you offered. Perhaps we can discuss that in a moment, but for the time being, it is mostly about a specialized burial, and the beginning of a great friendship.
Very, very well. Then let's
She will like
talk
shrug
details.
off her robe and like pull a scarf out and like be like, well, why don't you sit down first, and like kind of like walk towards him and like walk him into a seat.
Uh-huh.
And then
You're my
like,
little sister. I hate this.
I know, I'm sorry, but she's gonna like try to tie
I'm like
his
skeeved
hands,
out. Yeah.
like
Okay.
dancing, and then the moment that happens, I'm going to use my ability.
Okay.
So I can end this horrible moment for Chu, so that she doesn't have to ever, and myself
Please.
and everyone here. So I use truth. I mark D3 stress to mind, and then I gesture to someone within earshot with chattering and strange tongues. I communicate them the full majesty of decay that sits within the heart of Spire. They take D6 stress or D8 if I'm right up in their face, and I'm gonna get like right up close to him in his ear, and I'm gonna lean in, and then Chu is gonna like guttural like Cthulhu whisper in his ear, and just be
Okay.
like, look, like this is like the badness, you know.
All right. Roll a d8.
D3 first for the stress, or
Oh yes. Roll
For
that
you.
first.
okay.
Could you kill him with this?
I'm gonna try.
D8 is high.
Hypothetically,
I only
yeah.
take 1 mind stress, so that's pretty cool, y'all.
Okay. What does that put you at total stress?
You're asking great questions. It puts me at 3.
Okay, so you did take. Okay, let's check first. See if you take fallout from this. Nope, that's a 10, so it is better than a 3, which means you do not take stress or fallout. Sorry, carry on.
And he takes 5 mind stress.
Oof.
Okay, I need to look something up real quick.
Is he dead?
God, what if he's
His
dead?
brain's just gonna explode. Oh man.
Can I send my bees into him?
And also,
No.
Rachel takes 1 mind stress.
Oh, I take
Collective
one. Do I take the
thoughts.
same as you, or
You just take 1, and
Okay.
there's just because you're within earshot.
Yep.
Actually,
still
could
don't
I
have
say that
any
I like
tests.
whisper it, or is it like very much like occult, like the person, like anyone in the room is gonna be like?
I'm still at 0 if you
yeah,
do that.
we are taking
Nice.
the latter interpretation of like this is
Okay.
this is an occult thing happening that is not
D-
simply
does-
about physical sound.
I don't mean to be a dick about this, but does this mean that Din and I also take a mind stress? I mean, I don't think Edik is
You're like-
particularly caring to listen in, but I mean,
No,
if
I
he's
think it's
like,
not
door
going to. I think
between
it's a little too.
I have a microphone, and I'm really excited to use this ability on a stage one day and just be like, "You get
Oh,
stress.
no.
You get stress."
I also
Yeah.
just don't even know why I'm in here. I think Alvy just really felt wanted to be a part of it while you
But,
were
like-
doing whatever it was that you were doing, and it's
Mhm.
like.
But like,
just
good on
so
you
good.
for unlocking the secrets of your bloodline. Like that's cool.
Very exciting.
Oh my
I
god.
really
Okay,
enjoyed that
you
the
did how
secrets
much
of my
damage?
bloodline are just to turn into
5
Five.
stress.
5, yeah.
Yeah, tons of damage.
Okay,
That's so much damage.
so.
Oh my god.
Oh,
he's dead.
God.
Oh my god. What's
I
gonna
don't
happen?
want him to die. He
We want to
deserves
question
it.
him. We want to question.
We need information.
Yes, we need it for information. Also, I just had to seduce this guy, so he's gonna take a lot of stress. It's
His
the
brain
payment.
explodes non-lethally.
Okay, I need you to listen to this. Okay, I need you to understand something for me.
Okay.
City guards, which are kind of like, you know, drow, but who, are like kind of cops. Guess what their resistance is?
I want to say like 2 or 3.
No, it's
3,
higher than that. It's higher than that.
4.
5.
Okay.
5.
Like guards for like more like paladins are like 7. Okay, so
What's a mortician's resistance?
there isn't a set number for that, which is why I was digging through the book for a while. But here's the thing: if a city guard is 5, mortician sure is lower than 5.
Yeah,
'Cause they're
yeah.
just a
dude.
beast.
Wow.
let
Wow.
me make the case that his resistance to this would be higher than a city guard's.
No, I don't make the case for that at all.
NPCs don't have types of resistance; they just have resistance.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just
okay.
flat.
It's just
Mhm.
flat resistance.
He's like a pencil pusher who
Yes.
deals drugs on
Oh my
the side.
God.
Yes.
Should be like a 2 or a
Ian-
3.
Ian
Can anyone talk to the dead?
collapses dead in his chair.
Oh, he's dead? I
God.
didn't think it would kill him.
Yeah.
It would take like
That's
a
what happens.
fallout.
That's what
No,
this
that's what we're
conversation
saying.
was
That's what we're
about.
saying. NPCs, if they go past their resistance, they die.
They die.
Yeah,
Oh,
they die.
really? I
They
thought
Yes.
they took
straight up
fallout.
die.
I
They're
wanted
not
him
like
to take
player
fallout.
characters.
No, they
They're
don't.
not
Wait,
like player
Alfie, can you
characters.
use your thing? Does that work
No,
here?
it
Yeah,
only
wait,
works on me.
reverse time.
It's only for if I. Oh wait, I took stress,
Killed him.
but not from a roll that I did.
Oh no! I thought he would take fallout. My bad. Can I?
That's why
no,
we were
I
all
can't.
like,
Man, what hijinks ensues?
Well,
Wow.
She was gonna be like, dude, are you okay? Like,
Question.
come on, like,
Play
It
stupid
does-
games
I
and
just
win
want
stupid
to-
prizes.
It does say once per session if a GM asks you to mark stress as part of a roll, not your roll,
it is part of a roll. It's part of the thing roll.
that you can, instead of mark this stress, rewind to the time to the point you rolled the dice and what happened all took place in your head, and you extrapolate
It's
the
the
situation.
time. It's the time you rolled, though, or let's say they rolled.
It says a roll.
Oh,
It
roll.
literally
Okay.
says once per session when the GM asks you to mark stress as part of a roll.
yeah, but then keep
Mm.
reading.
Uh
You can rewind to the
oh,
time.
before you roll the dice.
And
Yeah.
that's also like for like you
Whoops,
failed
I
a
killed him.
roll.
I
Din
know.
or not Din. Chu doesn't fail a roll here. She just inflicts damage.
Yeah.
There is
In
no.
my defense,
Yep.
That's okay. All right. So
I didn't know an
Theon,
NPC would just die. I thought they would
I just-
take fallout.
I do want to make the note that like if this is like is this too crude of humor? He definitely has a boner and he's dead.
Oh no!
Oh, okay, nice.
Man, he's a stiff in more ways than
Why
more
did
ways.
I
than one.
even bother? Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my
That
There we
ain't
go.
even noticed yet.
Yeah.
Chu is like, dude, are you alive? Like, I did all of that for nothing. Are you oh my god, I know I'm hot, but did you have like a stroke? Like, come on. And I like
Din-
so like
Din-
slapped
Din-
him.
open
from
your
outside, you hear a little bit of like of Chu being like, "Oh my god, are you alive?" You do hear Chu start to say these things. Go ahead, Rachel. What did Albie?
So I'm gonna open my eyes and I'm gonna see that he's dead.
Yeah.
Be like, okay, it's not all lost. There are theories. There are possible theories that morticians can bring men back from the dead.
Do you know CPR?
It's not. No, there are theories
I
that
think I broke him.
morticians can actually have dead men walking, and maybe we could do that. Maybe we could find morticians that can do that.
100% Eddic and Din would now hear Alvi being like, bring people back from the dead through the door.
Oh my
So
gosh.
You know, I would imagine that, you know, Sam, character can do what they want, but like I crack open the door and like slide in and see the scene. Oh no.
Din, I did it again. I'm sorry.
Oops, I didn't.
God, again.
So what have we learned here?
Close the door.
I didn't think he'd be so fragile. He's so gross.
We learned nothing. He died. He died.
Okay.
No, but we did learn some things. We confirmed his relationship with the swan, and also we confirmed that he had it coming.
He did. I wanted to ask him who the swan was and what they wanted.
Okay.
Do we know any morticians? Do we know anybody who can bring people back from the dead? I don't know anybody who can bring people back from the dead. I just know that they can bring people back from the dead, but I don't personally know anybody who could do that. It's like a 3-day long surgery. Can you do surgery on a dead person? Does that have to be
I mean, look, I'm going to be 100% honest here. I think our best option is to frame the swan, put a lot of blood everywhere, stab him like 50 times, and then like maybe leave.
Alvin is literally hyperventilating.
We know it's the swan. We can go investigate him now. We don't We don't need morticians.
I have an idea here. Why don't we bring him to a place where we might be able to figure out how to maybe not resurrect him, but maybe speak with him from beyond his current state.
You want us to leave here through a back door and drag the body with us?
I want me to leave here to a back door.
If we're going, we should all go together. We can't.
Is there a carpet?
I would take the body with. I don't care.
Shouldn't we all leave together? If we just walk out, they'll.
Okay, I have a question for Elise. Can I put my masks on other people? I have a weekend at Bernie's plan going on in my head, but I need to know if it's possible.
You
yes.
can. They do not get any of the abilities that you get from wearing those masks. They are just wearing masks.
Okay.
Not against opening up a thing into the vault. It was just a question of if it's just you or if it's all of us that just get the fuck out of here, basically.
I mean, I think, there's no way that we can leave out the front door.
Yeah, I think that it's literally
I think it's totally reasonable. Together. I think it's totally reasonable for us to leave through the front door. We go up to the front desk and we say, hey, that guy said he'd be right back and he never came back. And he said he had a meeting with the swan or something. And like, I don't really know what was up with that. So we're going to leave and come back at a later time. Thanks. Like, we're really upset about all of this. And then we leave and there's no evidence of a body because it's been snuck out the back door into the whatever by Ete. Like, no problem. We just look upset. There's no evidence that we murdered this dude. We could even stab him a few times.
I am okay
for good cathartic feelings.
I'm okay with this. However, I would like to stay with the body in the vault where I can do research.
Yeah.
Well, we should hopefully be able to find each other. Do we have do we have some kind of like meetup or something within the vault that we could like
in the vault? I don't know.
Or in
how
the
much...
Vermisian.
Yeah, like how much do Eddic and Alvi?
Not really at all.
Yeah, then Perch would be where you would meet up.
Well, I mean, I know the vault pretty well.
No, but I mean, like, we don't know each other well to have like an agreed
I feel like we should just all leave together through the vault. The last time one person went off on themselves, we got everything that's going on. Like, I feel like we should go together.
I know that Chu wants to frame the swan.
I do want to frame.
Leave
we
a
could
note
just write
behind.
A note. Yeah,
yes,
just
write
like,
a note.
Write a note. Swan, I did this. I stabbed him
yes.
50 times, and we just like cut his wrist, put blood everywhere, and then leave through the vault. And also, I murdered Chu, and she's gone forever, except if she comes back.
What
Problem
do I
solved.
have?
Are we in character, or are we just arguing over the
I'm
Chu
table?
gonna-
is in
say,
character.
Because
like-
I've been really trying to do this in character.
This
Chu
needs to
is
be
in character saying,
I
Okay.
I just want to point out we have about 20 minutes left
oh,
for the
no.
stream. So I would like
Oh.
to come to a consensus if possible.
So I think it's important that we try to get more information out of him.
Can you
Because
do that in the vault?
I have informational resources inside the vault that I can seek
Yeah.
to learn about, like if there's someone that we could go to specifically, or if there's something that we can perform and roll for.
Well, if we go together too, then I can also help you with that.
Yeah,
Since I
yeah.
have the same thing, I could give you an extra die or something. So.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about Din and Chu.
Yeah, no, they'll take
mean-
some damage. They'll be fine.
I mean, yeah, like
Just a
I
little bit.
want us to be together, but I do think that like I would be down with Chu's plan of like let's just like stab him some and leave a note that it was the swan, because like
Yeah, let's do it.
we indicated it was an idol coming in, well, like, or not an idol, a wealthy, like, you know, special person, and they were not seen, so and we weren't on the register, so like, you know, we could just say it's a swan, and like he's known to associate with the
And-
swan already.
Okay, so
And
pause for me for a second. I know I'm jumping in a lot, but we've got a lot to cover in
It's fine.
15
Yeah.
minutes. So we're gonna is the plan stab, leave blood, but take the body to the vault?
Yes.
yeah.
So stab, note, body goes through
Blood.
the vault with the back door.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything
Also-
else for that particular plan that needs to be talked about? Because we're gonna rapid role play it and get back to Rauka.
Very small note that I remove all reputation stress at the end of this thing. So if that plays into this at all,
Oh yeah,
would
I
like
guess this
to-
is eliminating an enemy of the ministry, which everyone but
Oh.
Edit can refresh from.
how much
Oh,
is a
sweet.
refresh?
It's kind of up to GM discretion on how much he is an enemy of the ministry. I think in this case you are directly working against someone that he's allied closely with. I'm going to roll a d6 for y'all, and you can
Heck yeah.
everybody can refresh. Everyone present who is a minister, which is Alvi, Din, and Chu. Can refresh.
I mean, is this also counting as uncovering hidden information?
You
Well, we didn't
killing
uncover
him?
much. We murdered
No.
him.
Killed him. We didn't find
Two.
out
You
anything.
can
You're about to
refresh
create
two.
some hidden information.
Refresh
Mhm.
two.
Okay,
So
perfect.
tell me what Chu and Din. Tell me what your total stress is now,
She was at 1 stress total.
and it is 2.
I'm at 1.
It's 2 silver. I
Okay.
removed all my mind stress. Yeah.
Right. And Din, you're at 1.
1 shadow.
Shadow. Okay, perfect. All right, then go ahead and yeah. So get some stabbing action on this body. You get some blood spatters. What does the note say? Who's gonna actually? If we want, you guys can craft the note and like tell me later, and we can like
Yeah.
reveal it.
Let's do that.
Okay. And Edik is going to open a back door.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So- Is
There
there
we go.
anything that you have to do that, or you just find one, right?
I throw open a door and lunge through into a twisted metallic nightmare home. I find an entrance to the vault, not
Yep.
just the Vermissian. It's the
Right.
vault. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
They
Edik,
have to do resist an occult. People who
Yes.
are not stages.
So Edik, while you're writing this note, Edik is kind of searching around and like mumbling, "Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?" Aha! And like opens a door, and this door opens into an entirely different reality, which Alvi and Edik are both like, "Aha! Home! This is where I spend half my time." And Alvi's like, "Lola, I'm coming," and
Is
you
one
guys-
of my friends there?
I hope not.
Perhaps, or
Din
B-boy, or
and
Coconut, or Janice?
Din and Chu, will you roll? What is it? Resist an occult.
I think so, yeah.
So
Oh,
you
geez.
get your base D10.
Yeah.
If you have resist as a skill, you can roll with resist, and then if you have occult as a domain, you can roll.
Nice.
2 sevens,
Do you
which
have
adds up to
resist?
14. So
And
Sorry,
a
I might have done it
9.
twice.
Is that a 9 or an 8? It's weird that it
Oh,
shows
it's
me.
a 9
It's
the
a
first
9.
I think it's a
time.
9.
9, yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Din rolled a 9 and Chu rolled 7. So Chu does take stress.
I do.
Because the 7 is at a cost.
Wait,
Yeah.
Chu, which of those domains did you have?
Occult.
Oh, you have occult, and it's what was the skill?
Resist.
Resist.
Okay, I
How
can't.
many stress
It just
does...
says take stress, so I think it's up to you.
Okay.
Takes mind stress is what it says.
1,000.
It's rolling. But it's gonna be 3. You
3.
take 3 mind stress, Chu,
Ow.
which puts you at 4 total stress.
Yeah,
Just
Okay.
spend the whole time we're in the vault just looking at the orb.
that's a good point. That's a good
A
point.
5, so you are safe from fallout.
Cool.
Okay. And
While we are walking, I'm just going to say, because
Yep.
it's the end of the things, that while we are walking through the vault and starting this, I'm just going to be whispering quietly to my bees and having them whisper into me to heal some mind stress, if I
Okay.
could.
Cool.
1.
1
Thank you.
mind stress. And let me...
I'm still at
Oh, that's
0.
taking off of
had-
your resistance, right? Okay.
I was at 4 resistance and now I'm at 1. So.
Okay. Cool. Got it. All right. And you are into the vault with a dead body, a stabbed dead body of a mortician named Thean. And the back door slams behind you, and Alvi and Eddic begin the process of figuring out where they are and how they can get from where they are to a more safe location. And we are going back to Rauka. I'm going to kind of primarily narrate this part. So Rauka, you have been knocked unconscious, and you are coming in and out of consciousness in a way that feels unnatural. This is not you waking up how you expect to wake up, or going back to sleep how you, even injured, even tired. This is not natural waking up and falling asleep. And you get kind of snippets of awareness as this is happening. You get this kind of snippet of just an irate mistress, this woman, absolutely furious as she's yelling at everyone around her, snapping directions, bringing her guards back in, so drow guards, gnolls, this whole group of people. You fade back out of consciousness. You fade back into consciousness, and it's quieter now. There are fewer people around. You've been deposited somewhere. You can feel your hands not bound together like they were before, but bound to something now.
Mhm.
And kind of as you don't have the strength even to like check if your feet are bound, you feel utterly and thoroughly drained. And as you kind of come to this time, you feel your chest rumbling in that way that indicates Ashira is talking. And you see the mistress kind of in front of you, like swim into your vision, and she looks different to you. She looks almost like blurred around the edges, but not just because your eyes aren't working right. It's like there are realities overlapping in front of you. And she's bargaining, and you feel Ashira bargaining back, and you fade out of consciousness. And as you kind of come to a third time, you kind of see items again being laid out. You see this empty eidolon, and you hear Ashira in your mind, um, and she's bringing you to consciousness this time. And she's kind of just saying your name, and Rauka, Valarauka, Rauka, until you kind of bring yourself present. And she senses that you're kind of awake now. And you feel this kind of that same vibrating feeling all around you. You feel those bound, like the binds on your wrists, like biting into your skin. And you hear her say, I bargained for you. I bargained for you. And you don't quite know what that means, and you fade back out of consciousness. And as you come to the next time, it is to excruciating pain, as your body feels like it is being ripped in half. And you can't really sense or perceive through this pain. But what instead of seeing the world around you, hearing, perceiving the world around you, you are perceiving these flashes again of this overlaid reality. And in the beats between seeing or perceiving something that might be your body, you are perceiving something that might be Ashira's home, when before she came to Spire to inhabit your body. And it is utterly foreign and strange to you. You have no chance of comprehending this place. But at the same time, it's like your mind has been blown open to incredible new understandings. And it's confusing and it is horrifying to kind of hold these two things in your mind of you both can and can't understand more now about Ashira and about small gods and about deities in general and about where
Mhm.
divine and occult come from and how they interact and how they mix. It's right there. It's right there. And then at last, it feels like something breaks and you your vision comes back to itself, your senses restore, and for the first time in many years, um, you're alone in your head, and it's just you. It's just Rauka and Thorn. It is not Ashira somewhere distant within you, somewhere sleeping within you, somewhere right beneath your skin. Um, and as you kind of half awake, half conscious, mumble, you know, hear you hear the mistress nearby saying, "Well, take him. It's not like she won't do anything for us if we kill him now. Get him out of my sight." And you feel yourself being hoisted up, the bonds on your wrists, on your ankles being loosened, and you fall unconscious again. And when you next wake up, you are in the graveyard of small gods in Perch. And you, yeah, you wake up. It's not really your home in the graveyard. It is just, you've just been dumped here,
Mhm.
by people who don't necessarily know what it means for you to be from here.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and what does Rauka kind of do as he wakes up?
Um, I think knowing that, one, the eerie quiet in his mind is a little screwy right now. So trying to adjust to what it is to be uh, alone in that sense, and also the ministry is probably not going to be too happy with me, so I would not be going to the meeting house as my as my uh, cover, at least as I am very much working against this group, uh, has been kind of made known. So I think I would make my way to wherever Alfie would be staying. Like if there's an entrance to the Vermisian that I would have gone to go see her, I'd probably go there and just kind of
Okay.
wait.
Yeah, and this is just we're going to have to kind of jump in time a little bit for to kind of get us here because this is the process that got you to this point, with the Shira kind of removed from your body, took longer than it whatever the next scene of the crew with the dead body is going
Mhm.
to be. This is probably
Sure,
a day or two later kind of thing.
sure.
And so yeah, you have kind of a standard way of getting in touch with Alvi. You know how to find Alvi. She's
Mhm.
your dearest friend, and you make it to the Vermisian, and Alvi, I'm sure at this point has been worried sick about you, and it's not it's not Alvi who's waiting for you. It's Lola, the goat, who
Oh,
guards the things most precious to Alvi in the vault, and has been stationed at the entrance to the Vermissian that Rauka usually shows his face at, hoping from Alvi, I think that Lola, or if Alvi can't be there, that Lola will be there when Rauka shows up, and not you recognize Lola, and Lola in her weird goatish way reaches out with her hand and takes your hand and
Yep.
points at you
Yep.
and starts clip clopping her way along the Vermissian, and I think kind of in a daze. You are not well. You are very unwell. You are physically and mentally at the last dregs of your life. And Lola just kind of gently guides you through the vault. It's nighttime. Alvi would be asleep, and Lola kind of knocks on the door, opens the door with again her weird creepy hands, and you find yourself in Alvi's kind of inner sanctum within the vault, where Vermissian sages squirrel their lives away. To study the biggest secrets of the Drow and of the Spire. And yeah, Alvi, you kind of wake up to this intrusion by Lola. You're not worried. Lola comes and goes as she pleases. But as you kind of rouse, you look over and you see your old friend Rauka, who's been missing for several days after parting ways with him in New Heaven, looking very worse for wear. And delivered to you by Lola. And we are going to cut there. And
Get to give him a hug.
yes, absolutely. And with a nice hug from Alvi, pulling Rauka in, relieved, scared, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, you know my mouth is running the whole time. Like, let me look at this. How it's going. Let me, like, eyelids lifting and stuff, just looking at every. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is where we're going to stop for the night. So, thanks everybody for hanging in, for making it through. I know that there was a lot. I mean, we had surprise deaths tonight from NPCs. We had.
But it wasn't me.
It was
Not the death you thought was coming.
not when Ava was like, or a D8, so I'm gonna do the D8. I was like, oh.
No,
Do
it
you know how
has
much
to
it
be a
takes to
D8
crash
if I'm like in their face, but
Yeah.
also like I thought I would take Fallout
Yeah. Nope.
and not
NPCs
just
don't take
keel over
Fallout.
dead.
They die.
Well, we
Um,
learned something new.
all right. So, thanks so much, everybody. We will see the continuation of kind of what happens with the with Rauka's storyline there, and but first, next time we'll find out what's going on with the Weekend at Bernie's inside the Vermissian vault, because that's the next thing to resolve is our dead body of a mortician, a grimy, gross, died doing what he loved. Mortician.
Having a
Well, hey,
boner.
it's not the first dead
You
body
actually gave
to
him
be
a really good
discovered from inside of the vault, you know.
This is true. This is true.
It was not a good death. He died with the truth of the decay of Spire in his
That's
brain.
true. That is true.
So his last moments were horrific, as they needed to be.
Yes.
I apologize, everyone, for murdering that man, but also felt good.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, tuning in. Don't forget you can tune in tomorrow at 7 Mountain Time, 9 Eastern Time to watch us in Moontree Isle, because it's gonna be awesome. And there's a bunch more programming, which you're welcome to follow us on Twitter or join the Discord to find out more about. And with that, good night. We'll see you next week.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night.